Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. I am going to be vlogging my spring break. So let's get to it. All right, so it is Sunday, March 9th. I would have recorded some things yesterday, except I was not feeling well. I still sound kind of yucky, but I feel much better. So there wasn't a whole lot of anything happening yesterday. However, it is Realmathon, Ghostingers, and Middle Grade March, and I am having a blast with both. I have completed 5 books, and I am currently listening to Whale Done, which is a play on Well Done, by Stuart Gibbs. It is book 9 in the Fun Jungle Mystery series. It's so much fun. It follows the prompts for part of a series for Middle Grade March and travel. I have to look at what it will cover for Realmathon, if I'm going to attack or defend. I'm not sure. So far, every book that I have done has worked beautifully. I also have book club on Tuesday night, so I need to read The Winemaker's Wife by Kristen Harmel for that one. And those are the 2 that I'm and I'm working on Unraveled by Shannon Messenger, part of the Keeper of the Lost Cities 9.5 that I'm reading with Krista from Books and Jams. So those are the books that I'm currently reading. I'm having a ton of fun, and I will check in later. Hello. So I just thought I would quick update. Here's the deal. When I dog sit, I bring some laundry with me because I have to share a laundry with 7 other apartments. So it's a lot easier for me to have access to laundry when I'm dog sitting. So I did a load of laundry, and then I went to dry my clothes, and the dryer was not working. So I don't think that I broke it. So I had to come to the laundromat, and I am just sitting and reading. I started reading Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate because one of the 4th graders at my school was like, Miss Bowman, I started reading Crenshaw and it's so good. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's one I haven't read yet. And he was like, what? So I was like, well, I guess I better get on that. So it's just really cute. It opens up on this kid talking about this cat, like, surfing, and all the crazy things about this cat that he sees that's surfing, and how crazy it is that also he's the only one that sees him. And I think that's just so adorable. Like, he's like so thrilled with it. Anyway, so I'm doing that, and I'm just currently waiting for my laundry to be done, and then I'm going to be able to go back to the dogs because I don't like being away from them. So I'll be by the dogs for a little bit. I'll feed them supper, and then my sister needs a ride to the high school because my nephew is going to be playing his flute in the cabaret night or something. I don't really know what this is, but I'm super excited to get to go to that. So, and it works out really well that my sister needs a ride there. So I actually cleaned out my car, which is amazing. It's probably the first time that's happened in a while. I am very proud of myself. But anyway, yeah, so that's what and then I'll get back and I will, I'll read some more. But I just wanted to update as to what I'm up to, and yeah, I'll go from there. So yeah, bye. it is Monday, March 10th, and I'm going to try to do a short video every day this week while I'm on spring break. So to close out today's video, I just wanted to go over the books that I have read already in March. Are you going to come up? See? So Mikey just wants to sit by on the couch. There he is. You good? Sorry about that. Okay, so I just want to talk about the 5 books that I have finished already for middle grade March and Realmathon. So in terms of middle grade March, I have finished 4 books. I have read The Night Train by Lorelei Saverin, Spell Sweeper by Lee Edward Foyle, First State of Being by Erin Entrada Kelly, and New From Here by Kelly Yang. I have the 3-word author with 3 names. I have that actually multiple times, and I also have the traveling prompt. I still need a flower. I need a part of a series, and I need a flower on the cover, part of a series, and I still need one from the 1900s. Not going to be a problem. That's just what I have so far. So The Night Train, I decided to boost my team, and I got Strength in Numbers, which is sibling characters, and Win a Street Race, which is a fast-paced read. So The Night Train is about 2 twins, Nat and Maddie, and their family has a YouTube DIY show called Deck to Wrecked, and they fix up different houses, and they are currently working on a pilot for a program that could be used on as a TV series. And the only trouble is there are ghosts in the house, and Maddie and Nat can see them. It is really a fun story. It's very creepy, and there's just really always something kind of happening. And so I thought those prompts worked really well for the story. Spell Sweeper, I decided to attack. Spell Sweeper by Lee Edward Foodie. I don't know how to pronounce the O with the 2 dots over it, so I apologize. That is about Kara, who is a mop, M-O-P. She goes to Dragon Song Academy, but she has very limited powers, and so she mostly has to sweep up the magical dust that is left behind when other people do magic spells, and she kind of hates that. She doesn't love the fact that she has limited magical powers, but she, really kind of, bless you, she really takes her job seriously. And when sinister forces appear to be at play, she is right there ready to lend a hand. I think this is such a cute book. I really, really, really enjoyed it. In terms of Realmathon, like I said, I decided to attack. It follows the prompt of an urban setting, so I got positive points for that. I had Stakeout, which is a 2-word title, and Take a Hostage, which is a character with a criminal background. Turn the Tables, which is alliteration in the title. Spell Sweeper. And Tap the Phone Lines, which is listen to an audiobook, because I did have it as an audiobook. And so I got some points for that, which was really great. Or I actually, attacked somebody else for that. So that was great. The 3rd book that I have for Realmathon is The First State of Being by Erin Entrada Kelly. And this book is the newest winner of the Newbery Medal. And I can see why. This book follows Michael, and he's 12 years old, and Gibby, who's like his babysitter, but she just is kind of paid to hang out with him so that he's not like getting into too much trouble. He's, doesn't really need a babysitter. But Michael is really worried about the year 2000. It's August 1999. Y2K is just on the brink. Computers are expected to shut down. It's kind of a scary time. His anxiety is through the roof. And then we meet this mysterious like 16-ish year old named Ridge. And Ridge lets him know that he is actually the world's first time traveler. And he is from the future, 2199. Yeah, 2199. He has come from the future, and he wants to learn more about the 1990s because it's his favorite decade to learn about in history, which I think is so fun as somebody that was alive in the 1990s and lived through that Y2K scare about, was something going to happen with that? Was all of the power going to turn off? All of that happening. I know that there were people that were as anxious about Y2K as Michael. I was not one of them. I wasn't, but Michael was one of those that was trying to like hoard as much canned goods as he could because he was convinced that everything was going to shut down and everybody was going to need to like live in hovels or something. But Ridge has this book that explains everything that's happened in history, and he doesn't want to say too much about what's going to happen. But Michael thinks if he can get his hands on this book, then everything would be explained and he won't feel as anxious and everything will be great. So there's a lot happening. They're trying to help Ridge get back. Michael is trying to help Ridge, but also steal from Ridge, but also doesn't want to steal from Ridge. And it's this whole kind of character growth and development for Michael that is absolutely wonderful to see. There are so many nostalgic moments from the 1990s. Christopher Pike's books are mentioned. So many like pop culture icons. I found it so nostalgic. My only question is, would I love it so much if I wasn't alive in the 1990s? Would I find it as enjoyable as one of my students who were not alive in the 1990s? Would they find it as enjoyable? I don't know the answer to that. I do think that it is enjoyable and it can be enjoyed by everyone. It is very thought-provoking. It kind of delves into different theories of time and how it works and all kinds of things. And it's really just fun. It's a really fun, heart-wrenching book that it's so well written. Erin Entrada Kelly is amazing. In terms of Realmathon, I decided to attack because the prompts worked best if I attacked. So I had Go Undercover, which was a title under the author's name on the cover of the book. Spread Fake News, or Fake Gossip. The title uses the word of. The Take a Hostage, character with a criminal background. Tap the Phones, listen to it as an audiobook, and Plan a Coup, which is a 5-star prediction, which I absolutely knew that I was probably going to give this 5 stars. I actually only gave it 4.5 stars. I did know that I was going to love it, and I did. I just didn't give it 5 stars. So that was great. Also, it is an urban setting, and it's an author that I've read before. And since I am a stinger, that is one of my prompts, which I should say that The Night Train was also an author that I've read before. And so I did get team points for that. Perfect. Then A Foul Match is the next book that I read, and that is the only adult book that I have read so far this month. And it is a debut novel. It was an ARC that was sent to me by the author, Sarah Madeline, and I loved it. It was so much fun. It follows Dustin, who was working in New York City. He had this cushy, bougie job, and then he was laid off, and he ended up going back to Pennsylvania. I want to say Pennsylvania. Was it Pennsylvania? It was Pennsylvania. He went back to Pennsylvania. To take over his grandparents' farm, which they've been waiting for him to do that for forever. So he decides to take over the farm. He's still living with his grandparents. His grandparents are still living there. And he's just kind of chilling and making the best of the situation and learning how much he actually does love being on the farm and being around there. Violet has lived in this small town in Pennsylvania her whole life. She loves it. She has had so many ups and downs there. She has an adopted, found family that she just kind of claims as her own, having lost her family at such an early age. And she owns the flower store, I guess inherited the flower store, the Not So Secret Garden, from her adoptive grandma, who basically helped raise her and really did raise her after her parents passed away. And she is just vibrant, full of life, loves the small town, loves everything about everything, loves chickens and loves puns and chicken puns. And there are chickens running around all over the place in this city, this small town, because of reasons that are just wonderful. And the small towns, it's got this Gilmore Girls festival vibe to it, where the small businesses in this town kind of get together and they do these challenges as teams, and then it just kind of drums up business for these small businesses and just kind of brings people into the community and gets them into the local businesses. And Violet and Dustin are paired together, and Dustin didn't really know anything about it because he just came back from New York, and Violet is just peppy and exuberant, and they kind of start off on the wrong foot, but then of course it becomes a love match. It was so well crafted as a story. I loved Violet's character, and I loved how her character came alive in her chapters and Dustin's character came alive in his chapters. There was a definite difference between the chapters written from Violet's point of view and the chapters written from Dustin's point of view. Dustin is more abrasive. He swears more often. He does he just is grouchier. Whereas Violet is more, it just speaks in puns and just is happier and more exuberant. And you can really just see that difference in them. And I really appreciated that. There is an open door scene in this, but it is only one. And it's just a really sweet Hallmarky type story. And I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun with it. And it was out there and wonderful, and I have what I think should be the next book in this series in my head, and if it is not that, I will be sad. So sad. But, I guess I'm not writing the series, so I have to deal with it. I am very much looking forward to the next book in the series. I hope to see more of these chickens and all of these characters. It's just a really fabulous, quirky cast of characters. I love it so much, and I'm so glad that this author sent me her art. Dustin's character really grew on me, and I definitely could see him as my next book boyfriend, which worked for my team prompt for Realmathon. With this one, I did boost the Stinger family. I was able to fit 5 prompts to this, and one was to recruit a new pledge, because it was brand spanking new to my TBR. And I also bribed for information because it had more than one point of view. It also restocked the armory. It's one of my favorite tropes. Write a policy, an even number of letters in the title, the foul match. A foul match. So the goes with foul to make 5 plus match is 5 is 10. And then increased security is multiple people on the cover. There are 2 people on the cover. So I did boost the Stinger family with that one. It was wonderful, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, and then the final book that I have finished for Realmathon and Middle Grade March is New From Here by Kelly Yang. It follows 10-year-old Knox, who has a blurting out problem, and his older brother Bowen and his younger brother Leah, and their mother decides to take them from Hong Kong back to their hometown in America, in San Francisco, in the San Francisco Bay Area. Because it is 2020, and actually it's December of 2019, and the coronavirus is wreaking havoc in China. And so to safeguard themselves from the virus, Mom has decided that they need to go back to America. So they leave behind Dad. Dad has to stay back to work, and as Americans living in Hong Kong, they want to be back in America. However, because they are Asians living in a different country, because they are Asians living during the time of coronavirus, for better or worse, there is a lot of racism there. Because they are Asians, they have to deal with a lot of racism dealing with the coronavirus, and they have to play things like the COVID tag at recess, and he has to be it because he is Asian, and all of these terrible, terrible things. It was a little bit too close to 2020 for me. I wasn't really, I mean, I liked it. It's a really good book. Knox is the cutest little kid, and I really liked him as a character. His sister Leah was supposed to be in first grade as a 6-year-old, and she didn't seem 6 years old to me. She seemed a lot older, which kind of bugged me a lot. And Bowen was supposed to be in 6th or 7th grade, and he acted like a 6th or 7th grader. Knox acted like a 4th grader, a 10-year-old 5th grader. But Leah, I just did not see as being a 1st grader. And that just really took me out of the story a lot. But also she had a lot of traits that were very 1st grade. It was kind of weird. I did enjoy it a lot. And I know it was heavily based on the experience of Kelly Yang's family, being Americans living in Hong Kong. They did come back to America when Corona hit and they did have to leave behind her husband, and she was left alone with the kids. And there were struggles there, and you could see those struggles, and they felt real. The struggles felt so real. I really, really, really enjoyed so much about it. It was all about how like families come together and help each other, and that was really beautiful. There was a lot of really beautiful things about it. I did really enjoy it, and I would recommend it. So there is that. In terms of Realmathon, I decided to boost the Stinger family. I think I said something wrong earlier. I got it all right when I submitted and stuff. So if I misspoke at all, it's a mistake on this video and not with the Realmathon stuff in general. So I did decide to boost the Stinger family because that's where the prompts fit best. Increase security, multiple people on the cover. There are 3 people on the cover. And strength in numbers. The book has sibling characters, which it's all about Knox and his siblings. So I had those. It is definitely an urban setting, and it definitely is an author that I've read before. So those were the prompts that I hit for that book. So those are the 5 books that I finished. In terms of my reading plans for the rest of the day, I need to focus quite a bit on The Winemaker's Wife by Kristen Harmel. That is my book club book for tomorrow. And I do want to finish Whale Done today. That it's just I'm really enjoying it. I just really like it, so I want to finish it. But we'll see if I'm able to get both of those chunks of both of those done, especially because now I'm going to be editing as well. But we will see. Let me know how your first week of March has gone. Are you participating in middle grade March or Realmathon? Or I know Spring Into Reading-a-thon is also happening this week. There's so many wonderful readathons happening in March. Let me know what your reading plans are for March. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. I love chatting with you down there. Commenting, liking, and subscribing really help my channel grow, and I so appreciate you for doing that. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!